It's always a moment of truth, when we hit this.
Yep.
Well, I was going to say something, but now I'll wait till another day.
You're welcome to jump in, Sandy, if you want.
Nope.
Okay, I think we're good.
Yep.
See how everybody's doing. If we can get everybody in. Lance is going to man YouTube. I'm going to have you guys over here on Zoom. So, everybody over on YouTube, come on in. Tell us where you're from. Type in any questions that you may have. Kind of tell us your wins and struggles. Let us know what's going on over there. He's going to be keeping an eye over there as we talk and chat over here. So just jump in wherever you need to. Either one is good to go. Julie, come on in. Come on in. Turn your cameras on, guys, if you can. I'd love to talk to some faces. Hey, Wayne, good to see ya. Hey. Vicky and Sue hanging in there. They kept jumping on tonight. Oh, there we go. Hang on, we got you muted.
I think Vicky's going to bed early. I don't know about Sue.
Okay. Sometimes you just got to tap out and call it a night.
Mm-hmm.
We did that the other night too. I was like, whew. But sometimes the sleep is more important. It really is. And raising that BDNF, once you take the brains course and you hear about raising that BDNF and how important the sleep is, I think we all neglect it and don't give it the credit that it deserves. But
Absolutely.
it's definitely one of those things we all got to work on. So, okay, well, let's jump in. We will start off here. Hey, Kev, come on in. We're still we're in a weird place for the two of us. So we're still learning this journey of being in a different place than we're normal, out of our normal routine of the fasting from Sunday to Wednesday, and not doing these things together is really being a challenge for us. So we're used to being each other's partner. We hold each other accountable to it. And it's different right now. So,
weird.
So we're having to do two different things. I'm still not to be doing a clean fast. So I am, as much as I hate to say it, I am doing the sardine challenge again this week for 3 days. Instead of doing my clean normal fast that I would do right now, I am doing nothing but sardines for 3 days. So Lance is going to go ahead and jump back into our routine. He's going to try to make it through to the 72 hours of a clean fast. So what that means, black coffee, black tea, salt and water. And he usually can rock that out like a rock star. So he's going to get back on track on his end. I'm going to do the best I can do on this sardine challenge, which I did 2 cans this afternoon when we came home from church. I put them in the air fryer again. It is a game changer for me to be able to get them in the air fryer and crisp them up a little. Makes it so much easier to get them in, get them down the hatch and stay down the hatch, because I still struggle getting them in me. But I love how they make me feel. So if I can't do a clean fast, I'm going to take the win with what these sardines are going to do for my nutrition. Trying to get those omega-3s up, just trying to get everything feeling better. So the sardines, again, as much as I do not like them, my body seems to love them. So I'm going to take the win in it. I'm going to look at the positive side of it. Even though I can't do a clean fast, I'm going to do the best I can do on this sardine challenge. So trying to keep my window open at that 3 hours or so that Dr. Boz has recommended for me. So I am doing that again this week. Those of you that are in the advanced class with us, Julie, I know you are. We've got some others that are in. We're either doing a sardine challenge or pushing for the 72. So any of you that want to jump in with us, she's recommending that if you're not going to do a 72 clean fast, start out with that mindset of 72 hours. However, you're going to apply. God bless you. However, you're going to apply that. And instead of tapping out at 48 or whatever, when you end your clean fast, you start with sardines for the rest of the 72 hours. So it's kind of a trade-off of, if you're going to break a fast and not make it a clean 72 hours, then you break it with only sardines. So it's kind of a neat little way to do it. Again, some of us are using that air fryer, and depending on all of it as best we can, because it's a rough go. But what it has done to all of the numbers of our people in our class has been phenomenal. So if you're wanting to work on the mindset, if you're wanting to break those old habits, when you have sardines for 3 days and nothing but sardines for 3 days, it is amazing how much you can change your chemistry and your mindset on food. Food should not always be the reward system, should not always be that dopamine response, that all of those wins. We want it to be because we choose to have it, because it's our nourishment, because we can nourish our bodies and it not always be a big win on a dopamine response. And that is how we're going to break those long-term habits and things that we've gotten used to. So he's going to do a clean one. What do you want to jump in and say?
Just wish me luck. Getting back after old habits, so it's gonna be a rough one, but I think I can make it.
Cool. Go ahead, Julie, jump in.
Tammy, did you see my thing on Facebook that I froze the sardines in little pieces and swallowed them?
That works too.
However they get in. That's the same thing I say with the liver. As long as you're getting it in you, who cares?
Sardine sickles.
Yeah, but they were tiny, so I just swallowed them with water, and I figured I've got enough water going down too.
Yeah.
But I just didn't feel, I wanted to eat a can of them, but I didn't feel like really chewing them. So I thought, well, even that's better because I wasn't chewing, right?
Right, exactly.
Take the win anywhere you
you.
can. Anywhere you can. But I think it's going to be cool to see. We got Lance. Wayne's almost ready to really start pushing towards the fast, and Kevin's rocking on the fast.
Kevin always does.
These 3 guys, I can't wait to see when these guys all get on board. Virginia, you hidden for the 72?
Yeah, she's in there too.
She's already there.
You were hidden by the big microphone we have.
So what these guys I think are going to kick in and do great. So Wayne, we're going to push you along so you can catch up with Kevin and Lance, and you guys will lead the group. You guys will be cool. All of us girls, we go a little bit slower. Our bodies just don't kick in, whatever reason. Julie is doing great. I want to go through and just say, I want to applaud Julie for everybody out there. I know I've got some local friends and family that are type 1 diabetics, and anybody that watches us, even on the replay, if you're not on right now, family, you know who you are, and you know I love you, and I'm waiting for you to do this with me. And I just want you to know, Julie, do you care if I share a little bit of your story?
Go ahead.
Okay. Julie's a type 1 diabetic. Julie is a complete type 1 and is killing it. She is doing phenomenal. Her numbers are so stable. She's under 20 carbs. She is not having those crazy highs and lows. She is learning to navigate this being a type 1 diabetic, which is not easy to do. It's a very scary thing to do. It's a very hard process. Her body has to do the same thing ours does, but she has to inject the insulin, where our body will just throw that insulin out and put that fire out and bring that glucose down. She has to inject for everything that goes in her mouth. But to know that she is able to navigate this, and she is still dropping those carbs down, eating those fats and those proteins, and she is doing phenomenal. So
that's awesome.
It is. It's just, Julie, you're a win. I can't wait till we get through this class to bring you on and have you actually share with our type 1s, because we've got so many on here. Do you want to jump in and tell a little bit how it's going for you?
It's going great. I'm still kind of amazed. It kind of blows my mind a little bit, because even, when I started 3 years ago, I could never get it this low. But really, I do think it's because now I know that so many things like the stevia can up it fast, and I never thought about that before. So, I've been off of all stevia and a lot. but my blood sugars are still down under 70.
And how do you feel? Even with a glucose under 70, how do you feel, Julie?
I feel fine. Yeah, I feel great.
That's the win. That is the win right there. Just to know that your glucose is that low and you're not bottoming out. You're not in panic mode. You're not anything. So I'm just so proud of you. And I'm so glad how you are staying slow and steady and proving to yourself and everybody watching that, you can do this. You can do this as a type 1. Julie did Keto Continuum before, but one thing that we're all learning in our coaching class that we're coaching right now is everybody says because stevia and all of those low carb sweeteners will fit in your macros and think they're okay. And what the majority of us are realizing, They may fit in your macros. They absolutely will, but they are not okay for our body. The sweetness on the tongue still gives us a reaction and just gives us that trouble. So it's just those learning things that we're learning. It doesn't matter if it's a type 1 diabetic, doesn't mean if it's, type 2, doesn't mean if it's those of us that are just insulin resistant. I've never been diagnosed. I was pre-diabetic, but I've never been diagnosed. But I'm telling you, every time a sweetener goes in my mouth, my numbers go up.
And I think it's that learning curve too, that next step, that next level you go to. All those numbers fit in your macros there for a while. And that was a good thing for a while. Once you get down and get further into the journey and get farther into where you want to be in your goals, then you start micromanaging that stuff and actually see what it actually does. Not just because it fits in my macros, I can have it. Now I take all those measurements and say, now what does that group of stuff do?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. I kind of think that Julie has a little bit more of an experiment than us, because she's actually more hands-on with the outcome of actually her body.
And she don't have an option. She
has to do it. Yes.
So many of us can blow it off.
She is more hands-on. And if she wants to get the results that she really wants, she has the power to do that.
Yeah.
And to know, though, the cool part, Julie, is I know you have a CGM and everything like that, but her constant monitoring is what is teaching her what step to do. And that is one of those things that all of us not type 1s take for granted, because we can either monitor or not monitor. We can chart it or not chart it. We can track it or not track it. Julie doesn't have that option.
Doesn't have an option.
So she has to track. And those of us that have been up and over these hills, and I know Laura too has struggled before, so many of us that just our body doesn't kick in as easy as everybody else's. It's back to tracking. It's back to the basics. It's back to chronometer. It's back to all of those baseline keto continuum things that we do.
You can look at Kevin's results too. I mean, he's a master at tracking. He's
a math man.
He is the numbers guy. But if you look at his numbers, they reflect on how much he is into it, how much he is going into that next level, almost like Julie has to. Kevin just chooses to.
Yeah.
And that's where the game of it gets to be.
Well, that's really good.
Yeah. We went out with Kevin the other day, and it was like we hadn't seen him in person probably for 2 months. I mean, he walked in and it's like he's half a person.
Dude, he looked like a total different person. I about fell over.
It's like, Kevin, we're just so proud of you. But again, as much as we all hate it and we all moan and groan over the tracking and the chronometer and the carb count and everything having to count, it is amazing when you start tracking all of that and you do it, you're going to find what your problems are. Even the people in my Keto Mojo that I've been able to track in my patient portal for any of my coaching clients, I can bring it up now, and we're starting to see the patterns and have enough repetition in those portals that we're able to now track it back to their calendars and see what days of the week are you stressing, what things are bothering you, what is chronometer saying and telling you. So as you're tracking all these things, it doesn't matter what level you're in, whether you're beginner, intermediate, or advanced, it still comes back to that same. It's just a blessing to be able to track it. So Julie,
I want to just point to those two, Julie and Kevin. I mean, they do the basics every time.
Yep.
They track, they put it in, they track, they put it in, and you see the results. I mean, it's just, they are good at the basics, and you'll get there.
You'll get there. It is. And it's annoying, and we all hate it. And
It's annoying.
Absolutely.
It is. We all hate it. That is why, for us, normally when we're in that routine of the fasting for this Sunday to Wednesday, and then we eat through Wednesday through Saturday, we stay on the exact same meals most of the time. Go ahead, jump in, Virginia.
I was going to say, that's why I like to fast. I don't have to track.
Exactly. Exactly. But not even just fasting, even on our refeeding days.
Yeah, you eat the same thing. So it makes it's very easy to track.
Absolutely.
drboz says boring food is good food.
It is boring and routine.
You don't have to come with all these recipes and all this stuff, because that just complicates it. And then, the almond flour is really not good for you, and it has a lot more carbs than you really think it does, and so forth and so on. Boring food is good food.
Yeah.
Well, absolutely. And that is where I think most of us veterans that have been on it have worked down this funnel long enough to say, if you looked at people at the beginning of the journey and said, hey, eat nothing but meat and fat and you'll be fine, everybody would lose their mind, because nobody.
Yeah,
But
they do.
if you look at anybody that has been successful over a couple year span of doing this, almost every one of us are, I can't say we're not carnivore, because I can say once a week I eat a little bit of a salad or something, but for the most part, it's meat and fat, is because I hate tracking. I do not want to juggle the numbers, and not just that I hate it, I will do it, but my body still reacts to everything outside of my normal eating, my normal routine. We went out with Kevin the other night, went to a restaurant. We ate nothing but the meat. We ate, but we didn't control the spices. We didn't control the food. We didn't control all of that. And I wake up with a glucose the next day of 120 or something. I mean, it's just crazy.
And we chose to do the right things. I mean,
Yeah.
we didn't have stuff just based on that, and still being outside that box, we still get responses.
So we love steak. Those
We
4
love
days.
boring.
We do. Boring wins every time. Boring. We know when we go to a restaurant, when we walk in, it's a ribeye, a Caesar salad if we want it.
A lot of butter, and
That's it.
Yeah.
out we go.
No side dishes. We don't even look at the menu.
Maybe some lobster every now and then.
Lobster for the win. So, but we're getting there. I mean, so it's just, my point in that is the routine and the boring and the simple. The more simple you can make it, take it back to the basics,
Better.
keep it simple, is where the answer is. So,
Basics.
so come on in. Who's ready? Who wants to check in for the week? Wayne, come on in. Tell us how you're doing, buddy. Give us the update on the girls too, if you want to. Oh, you're in.
No, I'm not going to speak for them.
Okay, go ahead. Smart man.
No, I moved my eating window down to 6 hours this middle of last week. And that's going fine. Over the weekend, it was a little bit of a challenge, but I didn't sweat it. It opened up a little bit, maybe 7.5 hours instead of 6, but it wasn't, it wasn't a 12-hour day or anything crazy like that. But, we just had an evening last night at dinner with some family and some friends. So I didn't eat, for several hours in between. So I did have the meal that. Vicky, she's been a trooper with it. I will say she went to the dinner last night and just had some iced tea. She didn't even eat, and nobody really thought anything of it. It was just some concern. Everyone wanted to make sure she was okay, but other than that, it was fine. So I'd say a couple days I've had, I won't say upset stomach, but a little bit of sour stomach, and really couldn't find a solution to that other than just drink more water and dilute what was ever in my stomach bothering me.
Do you do the bone broth? Do you have any bone broth that you could sip on?
I don't have that at this point. No, I have the Redmond salt crystals came in, and I have one of those on my desk at work. So been using that a lot. In fact, I put up on one of the Facebook posts, I was concerned. I said, can you overdo that? Because I seem like I'm sucking on that thing all the time at work.
Your body will tell you.
Your body will tell you. If it's still tasting good to you, keep it going, because most people do not get nowhere near enough. So
Right.
it's one of those things you really got to push it. So if your body's saying that still tastes good to you,
Yep.
keep going. But good
Yep.
job. And
My-
good job. Tell Vicky good job too for making through dinner last night. That's a win, to go in and be able to have a tea and not just focus on the food. It's nice. It's nice to be able
Yep.
to do that.
My numbers are, I guess my glucose number is still bothersome to me. I'm still, good days are in the 120s. My bad days now, instead of being 160, are 140. So I guess that's a win.
But that's a 20 to 40 point win in
Yeah, I know.
a couple weeks. So
And just remember too, it didn't take you 2 days to get to where you're at.
Understand.
Your glucose has been this way for a long time. It's going to take a little while to get all of that out of you and have your body unlearn what you've taught it.
Yeah.
So have patience, because one day you'll wake up and your glucose will just go boom, it'll tank, and you're on the roll.
Yep. Yeah, that's another thing I put up on the generic Facebook post was a video by Jason Fung talking about high glucose while you're fasting. And that's, that's, I know these things, but it doesn't make it feel any better when you see the number on the meter.
Oh, trust me.
It doesn't. But one thing too, Wayne, the cool part of the way we do it with Dr. Boz is, and Dr. Fung is amazing with the fasting and everything, but the cool part of it, how we do it step by step like this is getting you more prepped and ready. It takes a little longer, but when you actually get there and we start fasting and we start pushing you, it's going to be easier for you to glide through because your chemistry is more ready than just jumping in and white knuckling. I mean, he's a tough cookie. He's a jump in and do it, don't eat. So the way you're doing it, you're going to
be
get
more
there.
sustainable.
Yeah. So it's not just gonna be a quick fix, but it'll be cool to see what your body does when we actually get your chemistry there. So you're getting there. Slow and steady is going to win this race every time.
Well, you said right from the beginning, don't even stress about things like fasting and everything. And I still I don't know if I'm sold on it or not at this point in time, keeping an open mind, but not necessarily looking forward to it right at the moment.
Not ready for it.
You will.
And I mean, that goes with, there's a lot that goes into the fasting. I mean, there's a mindset to it. There is a body chemistry set to it. There is, your body has to be ready, and it'll slide into it when you're ready, but you're not ready yet. So and it's hard to mentally grasp it, let alone physically grasp it. But once you're there and once you're at that cusp and you do it a couple times, there is a learning curve for your body, and you'll just fall into it. It will. When the time is right, it'll happen.
All right.
No stress.
Well, yeah.
Stress does bad things to glucose anyway.
Absolutely.
No doubt.
All right. That's about it for me.
Good job, Wayne.
Good job, Wayne.
All right. Who wants to go next? Who wants to jump in? Anybody have to leave early?
No takers. We're going to start picking.
All right.
people
We'll pick
now.
on you. Diane, you want to jump in?
Sure, I'll jump in. It's been a couple of weeks since I've been here, so it's really nice to be part of the group tonight.
Nice. Welcome back.
Yeah. Lots of positive things. I don't mind sardines. At first I felt like I need to cover them up with some red onion and mustard, but I have made a decision that I'm going to have a can of sardines every day for the next 4 months.
Nice.
Except when I'm fasting. I'm doing no food for 36 hours, and then I will do the sardines for the second 36 hours. But it has been really helpful. And my hours are somewhere between 6 and 8, and I'm not quite sure how to tighten them up. I go to work, but I'm really busy getting stuff done for court until about 8:30. And then I have another break around 3. So those seem to be the best times. On the weekends, though, I am, it's usually early in the morning, and I'm done no later than 2. I don't like dinner. I've never liked dinner. Don't give me dinner. I could eat everything, though. The problem is doing this advanced class, I'm really realizing how my habit of eating around 3 is now really hard to break.
Yep.
And so trying to stress the metabolism and things like that. So I'm really happy. Kind of scared about the fasting. So that's why I'm only doing 36 hours. Because I have really done well on high protein, but high protein doesn't up your ketones when you have a lot of protein, even along with a good amount of fat. But I am going to be patient. I have a 4-month plan.
Nice.
And yeah, I work out on Wednesdays and Saturday mornings, and I'm doing my Fire and Ice reboot on Wednesdays and Sundays, so that I can stress the metabolism that way. I get 2 breaks at work where I walk, so I can put in a couple miles a day. So that's my plan, and to follow whatever I need to do with this new advanced class. And get my omega-3s up. I ordered that omega quant test. So that's why I'm going to be eating a can every day, unless I'm doing a 36-hour fast. And I'm going to follow her directions and do the 8 weeks of 36-hour fasts. Some of them are going to be closer to 42 simply because of work, but that's just the way it goes.
The funny thing is, then you're not too far away from 48.
I say, Diane, I'm going to challenge you. If you can make it to 36, you can make it to 48. You're over the hump. And then I look at it.
If you're hitting 42, what, you got 4 more hours, 6 more hours?
Yeah.
I mean,
and I look at it, if you're making it to 48,
she goes quick from 48 to 72.
48 to 72 is the easy part. You're fighting through the hard part. You've got the hard part. So I challenge you to push yourself when you're ready, but I just jump in and do it, because I'm telling you, it's a game changer when
just
you get that far.
keep your minerals up.
Yeah. I have a very noisy cat next to me. Sorry.
Oh, that's all right.
But no, Diane, I love your plan. I love how you're keeping the minerals going. I love how you got a plan up ahead. The only thing I would challenge you on is 36 is almost too easy. You're that advanced. You're ready. Your chemistry is that good. I would say push ya.
Yeah, I'm just a little chicken right now. So I'm just going to.
You let us know when you're ready. We're here.
All right. Not longer than 8 weeks, not longer than drboz 8 weeks, but I won't go to, I'll advance at least by 8 weeks. So
it'll happen.
Yeah.
You'll get there. You'll get there. Those 8 weeks though in a row are magic. You'll love them.
Yep.
Yeah.
Once you get going. Good job.
Oh yeah. Really happy. I'm glad to be here. Thanks for being here.
You're
No
welcome.
problem.
We're happy
Thank
to have
you to be here.
Yes. Go ahead, Sandy. You want to jump in?
Yeah, before I change my mind.
Go for it, girl.
Yeah, I'm just starting my 72 again today.
Good.
And my numbers for the last 3 days, I've had, my ratios have been 21, 16, and 24. So I'm happy with that.
I just tested mine right before we came on because I'm starting my fast. I was 290.
So no, I haven't been doing it just before I start the fast. That's something
I did just because I wanted a baseline, but
okay.
Sandy, your numbers are always do so good.
'em.
Your numbers are amazing. And that is, again, Sandy doesn't always even worry about her numbers, but she stays consistent. She keeps her numbers going and she stays strong. And that DVR she makes ketones like a crazy woman.
Consistency is where it's at.
Yep. Slow and steady. So good job, Sandy. How you feeling? How you doing this week? You doing good?
Physically, I'm doing really well. Emotionally, I need to do more to lift my spirits.
Okay.
Something I need to do more often every day.
Yeah, we all do. And that's one of those things we all have to remember to put that positive in. The left-hand loops, all those, do the Bible study, do your journaling, do all those things that bring those endorphins. You got to do something you enjoy to bring.
Now, the journaling, that is kind of in line with the loops as far as
the cursive handwriting. And when you journal, do it in cursive. Yep.
Oh, yeah. My cursive looks much better than my printing. And I know a lot of people's is just the opposite.
Yep.
So.
Yep. And how many kids don't even learn cursive anymore? So but cursive writing is a huge, huge thing. So write in your journal, do your cursive handwriting, and just keep going, Sandy, slow and steady. Good job.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yep.
Who's next? Laura, come and check in. We haven't seen you for a few weeks. Come and tell us how you're doing. And say you're struggling a little bit. Well, let's get you back on track. Hang on, we got you muted. There we go. Yep, you're still muted, hon.
Got to unmute. She said she was in a little bit of a noisy place too, so she might be having a hard time.
I don't know if
there you are.
hear the noise? Can you hear the noise?
Yeah.
Okay. So anyway, I'm going to try to keep it brief. I put it in the chat.
Okay.
I've been struggling a little bit because I feel like I exchanged my addiction from carbs to heavy cream.
Oh, right there.
Oh,
And I have a hard time getting rid of that because I feel that, you know, when I do, like now I'm a Starbucks, right? And I had my because I love it and I don't seem to be able to do without. But when I finish the cup, I get acid, acid, you know, and not so much when I do it at home. I don't know why. Maybe because of the quality of the cream. I don't know. But the thing is that it's become such a habit that it fills me up. And because it fills me up, I don't feel like eating anything nutritious.
Yeah.
So that's my thing. And lately I've been experiencing a lot of swelling in my legs that I didn't have anymore for a long time. My
Caffeine.
glucose numbers are very good. But when I was fasting, my glucose number would go above 115. And that's scary because I don't want to have it like that anymore. So when I'm not fasting, my blood glucose is around 80, 84. Like today was 84. And for the last 2 weeks, they've been fluctuating in between 74 and 85 or 88, in between there. And I take my uric acid test once a week. And the last time it was 4.7. So I don't know if that is good or bad.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Maybe you can let me know.
Mhm.
But my ketones are no longer showing up. And that's discouraging because I try to stay keto. And I try my best. You know, I try my best, even though sometimes I have little cravings, but I have my rock salt with me all the time. So I'm good at avoiding carbs, but I cannot develop ketones anymore, even with BHB. I don't know why.
Okay. Let me help you out a little bit on that one then. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. For the most part, most of us that are insulin resistant, yes, heavy cream fits in our macros, but heavy cream will mess most of us up. I have tried every company out there. Most of the creams have carrageenan in them or some kind of thickener in them that still messes me up. It still affects your numbers. So the heavy whipping cream, the one thing I would challenge you to try is I'm out of them right now. That's why I'm trying to think. Nut pods.
Nut pods.
I get just the plain vanilla nut pods. And they're a nice transition because I'm like you. I like the win of my cream. It's like I've given up every damn thing else in life. I like that heavy cream, but it doesn't like me. So it's one of those. So I transition over to the nut pods and I will use those. So I still can have my eating window a little bit opened up with some cream in my coffee. But then outside that eating window, it's got to go. Even the nut pods got to go. I know you was good at fasting before, Laura, but I would probably challenge you to go ahead. If you're going to not fast and you're wanting to work on those addictions in the brain where you say you've broken one addiction for another, I would challenge you with the sardines. The sardines going in when you need that nutrition, those are high density nutrition little bites. So get that nutrition in you. If you're going to stick with that heavy cream for a little bit, kind of trade off with yourself. If you have the heavy cream, then you need a can of sardines to help you get the nutrition in you. I would play some kind of little game with yourself of challenging yourself to try to get you back on track. We got to get your ketones back up. But right now, I would bet my life the heavy whipping cream is stalling you out. I really would.
And another thing too, I think the caffeine might be going to your swelling of your legs.
He was getting
because I was starting to get that because I was pounding a lot of caffeine. And I had to actually back it off a bunch. So if you're using, especially Starbucks is going to be cranked full of caffeine. That may be leading to some of your fluid retention because it did for me. So you might want to try it.
Jump back in, Laura. Just get back on where you can, but start holding yourself accountable. Come join us. Get back in the group with us. Come back in. You know how to do it. It's just applying it. You got to get back on track and quit. Don't give yourself the excuses. Same thing we've all had to do is you can't trade one addiction for another. You know, it does get rough, but we're all going to get there. And that's what I hate the sardines. I do not like them little boogers, but I love what they're doing for me. No, I don't like them, but we got to do this. And if this is what it's going to take to break the addictions in my brain, to get me back on track, to heal my body, I want that nutrition in me. And I did 2 cans today.
And it may be time and Laura, you may be at a point where you've done keto a little bit and your body is now used to what you've been doing.
Yes.
So now you're at that cusp of, am I ready to take it to the next level? And that's when you push into that next level and you push your body's metabolism. You're probably in those next few steps. You need to just take it to another level, a more in-depth level to get you to where you want to go, to turn your body back on and say, okay, now we're going. So hang on one second.
Hang on, you're muted. Gotta unmute.
I do the sardines 3 times a week.
Good job.
Because I got tired of eggs because I was eating 3 eggs with bacon and I got tired. I couldn't stomach it anymore. Right now, if I eat eggs, they have to be hard boiled. And I usually eat the hard boiled like in the evening. If I'm hungry, I have dinner with hard boiled eggs. But I cannot do a lot of the fat, like, you know, people that eat meat. I used to love a nice ribeye steak with a lot of fat, and now I cannot stomach it anymore. I don't know.
You might need to break that up and do it in smaller portions and maybe out, you know, through your eating window. So it's not all at one time. I would try some little things because you really don't want to back off on that fat. That's why you're not making ketones. You know, if you're not getting those fats in, you look at your chronometer, make sure your fats you're meeting that macro in your chronometer. And if you're under the fats, that'll be the number one reason you're not going to make ketones. So get you back on track, Laura. I'd work on it. Let me know if you need help with your chronometer or anything. Okay.
Back to the basics.
Back to the basics. You can do this, but then you're going to be ready to push it forward.
Yep.
So, all right, Kevin, come and say hi. Come and check in. Wake up.
Oh, who, me?
Kev. Come and say hi. Tell us how you're doing.
My dog's running around like crazy.
What do you say?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, there you go.
There you are.
Very muted. You're gonna have to ante up for some better Wi-Fi, brother.
Can you hear us?
I live in Appalachia.
We can't hear you, Kev. You're gonna have to come over and do night group or support group with us. Come on. Get over here. I don't know if you can get closer to your Wi-Fi or fix it. If not, hang on. Let's jump. Becca, you want to jump in next time? Oh, look, Tanya's here. Oh, hang on, Becca. We got you muted.
Sorry.
There you go.
Okay. I had a couple of bad breathing days just a couple of days ago. I had, with the COPD that I've got, you can get these things called mucus plugs in your lungs. And so I was coughing. I didn't sleep much because of the coughing. My chest hurt. I finally did, I think, get all the mucus plugs out. But my glucose this morning was 100. Yeah, probably from all the stress of that.
Yep. I didn't sleep good, so all that stuff's going to add up on you.
Yeah. My ratio was still actually pretty good because my ketones were up.
Good.
And one of the things that I'm going to be trying is making some fat bombs.
Fat bombs.
And yeah, my eating window is about 4 or 5 hours.
Okay.
And but usually it's like at the beginning of that time I eat, and then at the end of that time I eat. And I figure if I have some fat bombs that I can stay during that intermittent time, I can bring my fats more out.
This is Sunday.
Yep.
And I do have some sardines, but I have a problem with them in that my daughter is violently allergic to seafood. And so if I try to run the sardines through the air fryer or something like that, she will have a reaction just from the oils that get in the air from that. So I'm trying to figure out a way that I can try sardines and seal them away from her so that she won't have a bad reation.
Absolutely.
Hey, I put my
Yeah.
air fryer on the back porch because I have a bad reaction with that smell in my house. Not that
So she
drastic, not like you're
She
saying,
gets
but yeah.
hives and it's,
Wow,
it's-
that's terrible.
yeah. At least she doesn't get anaphylaxis
No
Yeah.
doubt. Yep.
so far.
That's scary. So, yep. But keep it going. And Becca, I would just go slow and steady, just what you're saying with the ketones, stuff like that, because your sleep being messed up, your oxygen being messed up, all of that
Yep.
transitions. I would, again, just be kind to yourself. I know you push it and I know you know how to do it, but I want you to just be slow and steady and easy on yourself. Just like Dr. Boz is making me do right now. I am not allowed to do a fast. She has me just
Oh, she's so frustrated.
it's just frustrating and I know it. So I guess I'm just saying I'm with you, but be kind to your body and give your body a chance. If you've had a rough couple nights of sleep or lack of sleep, just be kind and you'll get back. Just stay on track. It doesn't give you an excuse to jump off the wagon, but just stay focused and your ketones are good. Glucose will be up a little bit, but it'll come back down.
Yeah, I haven't exercised obviously within the past 3-4 days.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping now to get back into it tomorrow.
Good.
Well, so that's where I am.
Good
And
job.
I'm sorry I came in late.
No,
No,
you're good.
you're good.
We're here for a little while. So
Come and
not to
go
worry.
as you can. But I think the teaching moment in Becca is Becca has ongoing health issues that she has to deal with. And it's not something she can't just put it on the back burner and ignore it. Kind of like Julie. We all have something we have to deal with and you have to learn to deal with it and read your body. How hard can you push? How far can you push? But it doesn't give you, just because your body, your numbers don't react right. Or, Lance was 200 something. I mean, that one day last week, I was 1,000 and something in my DVR. It doesn't give us the right to jump off track. It doesn't give us the right to cut excuses for ourselves. It just means stay focused, get back on track. And it's all the more reason because consistency is what's going to heal you. It's not going to be, oh my gosh, my numbers weren't good. So what do I change? What do I do? Nothing. You stay consistent with the basics.
And a lot of the things that she's going through too is a stress to her system. And every time you add stress to any situation, especially this, you'll see it reflected in your numbers. So even though your body is healing, you're going through different things, you're creating stress, but it's still, you still got to stay in that realm to make sure everything heals.
Yep. Good job.
Kevin's got better Wi-Fi. He just
Kevin,
texted me, so he
Are you
might want
better?
to
Jump in, Kev. Come on.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, a little bit better.
Well, we live out here in the middle of nowhere, so connection's hard sometimes.
Come on, I needed you to project like a teacher would.
Yeah, like that. I just can't stress enough what you said early on about, looking at the numbers. Yeah, I'm a numbers guy, but even if you're not a numbers guy, look at those numbers, because the last week on Wednesday, I had almost the exact amount of protein and fat, and my ketones dropped like huge. But I knew automatically what the problem was, so that was an easy adjustment. And the more you document, and the more you see, and you make those connections, the easier it is to manage what's going on with your body. Don't give up on it. Don't do it. Those numbers sound great to me. 140 or 160 down to 120. That's huge. That's a huge percentage drop. So good for you. That's it.
Go, Kev.
Very good, Kevin. Thank you, sir.
We're trying to catch. I think he's talking about Wayne's
He's
numbers
talking about
dropping.
Wayne's, yeah.
Numbers dropping so fast. And it is. Kevin's a numbers man. And
Huge percentage.
it's that number of when you look at, his Wayne, even talking about Wayne's numbers, if he's been over 150, 200 for years and he's dropping 20 pounds or 20 numbers in a week, like that is a huge win. So those are things that as much as we get discouraged because it doesn't happen as fast as we want. And my body's one of them. My body does not handle it quickly. By no means. It's like bullheaded as all get out. So it's just, we'll do the same exact thing. We eat the same thing and his numbers will go woo and go crazy. And I will be over here beating my head against the wall. I will get there. It just takes me so much more dedication and time and bullheadedness. And
she has to be more consistent. She has to be more, but she's also got more metabolic damage than I do. So, I mean, there's things that are still, and plus what her current situation, but she's still healing. She still has trauma to her body. She still has stress on her body. Those things are huge.
It is. And I think I didn't even give it enough credit. Dr. Boz is the one that stopped me. She's the one that put the brakes on for me and had me back up, slow down, time out, wait. And, I was only, when she told me I was only out 6 weeks, I think, from my heart attack. And it was just that moment of, to me, it's like, I'm 6 weeks, I'm ready to go. It was like, let's do this. I'm tired. I'm not a heart attack patient anymore. I want to move forward. And never really, hey, that's how I think. I'm not one of those people. I don't like to give my body a big break, because as soon as I slack off my healing, my body goes haywire the other direction. And I am so terrified of that. So that is my big fear. So that is why I have to stay so consistent. I don't get those breaks of, I'm just going to go off for the weekend and be back on Monday. I don't get that option. It doesn't happen like that for me. So most of you that are insulin resistant or have the major health issues, it get discouraged because, oh my gosh, I've done this for 2 weeks, or I've done it for a month and I'm not seeing the numbers. Good Lord, please, a month is nothing. 3 months is nothing. 3 months is a blip on the radar of your life and health. And it's truly going to be a blip on the radar by the time you get it turned around. So it will get you there. Felicia, you want to come and say hi? How's your week going, babe?
Good evening.
Good to see you.
Good to see you too. Well, your little talk last week worked, and so I'm working with sardines more, and the early part of the week I was able to really tighten things down, and got a couple days of really good numbers. And stress entered, well, my parents are in the nursing home, and we thought that this was going to be a really good experience, and instead my mother doesn't want to stay.
Oh.
And it looks like that she may not be getting good care.
Oh, that stinks.
That's awful.
And so yes, I'm having to go to the nursing home twice a day. And tomorrow we're going to have a come to Jesus meeting.
There you go.
So but my numbers
Reflect that.
And they're now reflecting that, but that's okay, because we'll get back on track. The funny thing is that Saturday was a really difficult day, and I showed up at my brother's restaurant and I was crying, and I said, I'm trying to stay keto, and these people are really pushing my buttons. I need meat, cheese, and butter.
There you go.
Oh, sweetheart.
So he went and fixed me some meat and poured some butter on it and then melted some cheese on top of it. And I had just let myself get too low. And so it was difficult for me to carry that stress. But after I got something to eat, then it was better. But I was proud of myself for the determination to try and stay good, even though I told him, I said, I've been driving around and seeing all these restaurants I want to stop at, and I decided to stop at your place because I knew you'd take care of me.
Awesome.
That's what family's all about. But we're praying for you, for your mama, and have that come to Jesus moment. You got to lay the law down, take care of your mama, but don't let that stress get to you. You've got to let it go, stay the course. You did exactly right. Your brother's helping you. That's what you need to do. Stick with the meat, the fat. Don't make it. This isn't the time to make heavy duty choices and change things up. Do it simple.
Yep. Stay simple, and it'll be easier to do.
It will. And you
Yeah.
just got to navigate through life right now. You
That's
got
right. Keep bringing those donuts and those Lay's potato chips to my mom.
I don't know how you do that.
And again, anybody that doesn't remember, Felicia owns a bakery
Yeah.
and runs a bakery all
And it's
week long. It's keto. So if anybody can do this and stay the course, this woman
Unreal.
is unreal. That her
You're so far forward on steps. Sometimes you may not realize it because there ain't no way I could work in a bakery and be sorry.
I mean, I walked past donuts at our drugstore today, when we went in today, and I swear to God,
She stopped in her tracks.
I just looked at him like,
Oh, she said.
that kind of looks good. And I'm like, oh, my kid, and I'd be sick in 5 minutes. But it was that moment of, dang, those are nice homemade looking donuts.
Yep.
Yeah, no.
But you have to remember, for me, I've been doing it for 32 years. So really and truly,
You're good with it.
the appeal is not there. The only time the appeal really gets me is fresh out of the oven and when I'm weak.
Yep.
Because I did have somebody ask me this past week. They were just like, what are you doing and why are you doing it? It's a matter of I am caring for two 92-year-old parents. My mother's had breast cancer twice. My dad's had pancreatic cancer. Their health is absolutely horrible right now, but they've got longevity. So their quality of life is not good at this point in time. And I'm looking ahead and I'm going, is there anything I can do to not get there and not be in quite the same position that they are?
Yep. And I think most of us that have, I was dealt some crappy genes myself. And I think it's one of those things, most of us that have didn't hit the genetic lottery by no means. And the gene pool just isn't in my favor. But I think it makes us that much more determined to stay focused and do what we know is right, because I want to break these generational gaps for my kids. It may be a little bit better for my kids, for my grandkids. It may not be a perfect score, but I am hoping to make a difference on planting those seeds that my kids are going to know a little bit better than I did, a little bit sooner in life, a little bit better quality, a little bit, just a little bit change. And if I can make that little bit of change for my kids' future, that's my why. That's my goal. I want to make a difference. And Felicia, you're doing it.
If you can affect one choice that they make, then that leads to two choices. That leads to three choices. I mean, it's incremental, but every little bit counts.
Yep.
Our special needs son, I'm so proud of him because he has seen me struggle. And this week, he's no longer eating or drinking soda pops. He's no longer had any cookies. He's had no bread, no potatoes, and no rice. And I think we'll weigh him in the morning, but I think in 7 days he's lost 5 pounds. And we've got his glucose in the high 80s, low 90s, but he's not producing ketones. So I need to get the BHB capsules to help him out, to get him.
Or the MCT capsules. If you put that oil, get that oil in him somehow.
Okay. Today, well, I've been giving him them slowly because
Yep.
I really have to be careful with reading his body because he doesn't quite understand his body. He's heard me talk a lot. And so, but today I gave him 2 MCTs at the same time to make sure that it didn't bother his system, and it didn't. So I thought, well, tomorrow I'll bump it up to 3. And then maybe, and we're trying to eat like at 7 o'clock in the morning and then 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
Oh,
So
that's
he's
awesome.
not eating after 3. And so, but he's been home from the home where he was staying for 1 year and 3 months. And he put on a Santa Claus belly. And it was because of the bakery. And
Sure.
he was indulging. And I wouldn't let him go to his doctor's appointment because I don't want them to diagnose him as diabetic and try to put him on the meds. So we've just been working real hard, but he has enough diabetic people around him now to see what the diabetes is doing to people. So I've been very
Felicia, that's a win right there. I mean, just all the things you just listed. He's no longer having soda. He's making choices. His glucose is in the 80s.
80s, 90s. That's awesome.
Felicia, that's leading by example right there. And to know that it's your special needs son that needs a little bit more help, a little bit more attention. I don't know. I'm so proud of you. That right there is the win. And we all, we all can say that for you, that keep leading by example. So good for him, and tell him we're also proud of him and
proud of you
for leading. And that's cool.
Thank you. But he's traumatic brain injury. And so the brain health, I just keep telling him, Michael, we've really got to work on this because we have got to keep.
Yep. That MCT too. I'd keep that MCT going as much as you can up that for him and keep that going in him. I would do that for that brain health.
Is there a point where it's too much?
I know. I've heard
much.
Well, you know how to list to his body when he has to run to the bathroom, to slow down. But I have heard Dr. Boz say as many as 45 a day. So
really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I don't know anybody that is nowhere near.
Oh my, that's a lot.
That's a lot. So if you can, whatever you can get in him, I would say take the win and run. And good luck. Good luck. Thanks, Felicia. We love you and we're praying for you. Good job.
Prayers for you, dear.
Yes. Christine, you want to come and jump in? Welcome.
Sure. I'll jump in. Hey, all.
Hello.
So this was a weekend of trying new things.
Is this Stina from YouTube?
It is Stina.
Welcome.
It gets all mixed up when I change between YouTube and
no, that's all right. Now I can put a face with a name.
Yes. So I've started my 6th 72-hour fast. And this weekend I learned how to make liver pancakes, chicken feet bone broth, and that was different for me, not something I've ever seen in my my family ever made. But I'm realizing like the bone broth is a good thing for me to have around. So I did beef and I did chicken feet, and so that just helps with everything else. I'm trying to make my plan for how I'm going to manage my days after I get through my next 72-hour, because it's my 7th 72-hour fast, because I'll have one more week and then I'll be done. But I need to have a plan in place. Okay, so what are we going to stick with? What's the new plan? Because I don't know what my rhythm needs to be. I know I've needed the 72-hour fast to keep my AM glucose down, right? That's kind of been the savior, is every week.
Have you met your goals yet? Are you at your weight goal and all your goals?
I won't be. I have lipedema, so I don't actually lose that fat, right? So that fat is kind of like resident, isn't coming off. I haven't been doing this for weight loss. I've been doing it for metabolic change. I'm still on my journey to find the right doctors to help me with the lipedema. So I adjusted my expectations, because when I first started, I was hoping to lose weight, and I've been religious about tracking and doing everything. But I've now realized that after doing this for more than 6 months, I only lost 12 pounds. I'm not going to be the person that loses weight, but I can make myself metabolic.
Oh, we had a stall.
Oh, where'd you go? We lost her. Are you still there?
That's what we always say though. The weight loss is a bonus.
Yeah.
I mean, you're healing your body. The weight loss is just a great bonus that happens.
It's a happy accident. Christina, if you can still hear us, I'll just kind of tell you, with the metabolic health, you are so right. Even if you're not losing the weight, I haven't lost the weight either. It took me months and months and months of continuous work before I'd lose a pound. And I swear it just wasn't that fast.
Oh, she was frustrated.
And it was frustrating as heck. Well,
We're gonna keep going.
I hope
'cause
she'll catch
get
the
back on.
replay. Catch the replay here. But the metabolic health, anybody dealing with that lipedema, all of those kind of things, that again, that is staying slow and steady. Christine, when you see this, I hope you will just refocus when you get to the end of those 872s. I hope you will just readjust. And oh, there she comes.
She's coming back in.
There she is. I hope you'll be able to readjust and reevaluate, do your numbers, and jump right back in. That's what Lance and I do. Can you hear me okay? There you go. We get to the end of those 72s. We take 1 week usually just to kind of regroup and get another plan, and we jump right back in because we want that deep health just like you do. And I wouldn't tell yourself that you're going to help that lipedema. Don't give up on that. You keep going, but you stay strong in it. You keep stressing that metabolism, stressing that mitochondria, and you're going to get healthier and healthier on the inside. That weight will just be the happy accident that comes, but don't let it lose track on you. Don't let it.
Yeah. And I'm just keep trying to adjust things to figure out that part of my broken health. Maybe I'll find something I'll be able to share with somebody else along the way.
I tell you what, it is a journey. As you go through it, you'll learn all kinds of different things, and just be receptive to all of it.
Yep.
Don't fear the sardine.
No,
exactly. Don't fear them as much as we don't like them, but
or chicken feet.
Yeah,
that was weird, but I'm
with
it worked.
It looks like witch's brew brewing, and my kids give me so much crap over it, but I love it. It is one of those things. It's a tool for everything and so many different uses. Yep. Just have it on hand always. It helps the gut. It helps the bowels. So it helps when you're going to break a fast. It helps everything get moving in a good way. But Christy, I guess I'm just saying, when you are off of your fast, when you're at the end of those 72s, make sure on those refeeding days, one of the best rhythm, go slow, but on those refeeding days with us, the rhythm that worked the best was to be OMAD for the feeding days within like a really 1 to 2 hour eating window during our feeding days, and fast for those 72s. That seems to be the common denominator of where most of our metabolically challenged people find a rhythm.
I'll try it. I don't have a gallbladder, so I have a hard time getting all that fat
either.
in a small amount of time. I really have a hard time jamming it, right? So that's my thing, is trying to figure out how much of an eating window do I really need to consume all of that. So,
and even if you open that up to like a 2 hour eating window, I find I can't do a whole bunch of any one fat, but I can do little bits of a little bit of beef, a little bit of butter, a little bit of bacon grease, a little bit of bacon fat, a little bit of the mayonnaise, the bacon grease mayonnaise that we make. If I divvy it up like that, then my body seems to tolerate it much better. If I just do a whole bunch of one time of one thing,
she can't shoot the avocado oil.
No, I get that. Yeah. So just trying to figure out how to get it in. So thank you. Appreciate it.
You're welcome. Little bits at a time, but just stay consistent. And when you finish up those few weeks of 72s, I'm telling you, just get right back on.
Get right back on the horse. Okay.
Get right back on the horse. It works. All right. Who wants to go next?
Janet was another one. She came over from YouTube.
Hey, come on in, Janet. Come say hi.
Hang on, you got to unmute, hit your microphone.
Nope.
If you're on a cell phone, tap the screen of your phone, it'll bring up a menu from the bottom. Then
there you go.
There you go.
Yeah, it just kept on going to something different. I didn't want to. It was just being weird.
Gotta love electronics.
My fingers. Yeah, my fingers. Thank you for letting me come in. Oh my goodness. Welcome. I love like what we're doing throughout the week, and Sundays work for me. I would like to be in on this like Sunday evening thing more often, because I do need somebody to just, talk keto with me and saying, hey, you're okay. So
we are here every Sunday. The same link works every Sunday until we mess it up.
We mess something up.
I'm gonna it wouldn't let me copy and paste that when you send it to me on YouTube. So I'm gonna have to figure out how to get that.
Did you just click on it?
I did, YouTube? But it wouldn't let me copy and paste it so I could save it.
Oh, okay.
Gotcha.
We are there's also, we're on Facebook.
Are you in our Facebook group, Janet? You are, I think.
I am. Yeah.
We usually post it there as well.
So
okay.
We'll get y'all like, so how's your week going? Being community, I love it. So I think all of us have all decided we've all tried to do it alone and it don't work.
Welcome.
Yeah, I've been basically doing it by myself, dragging my family along with me. And sometimes my shoulders get kind of weak and I can't do it by myself anymore. And that's why I need somebody to talk to. And as much as I am learning, I don't feel comfortable enough, I guess, to say I got this and I can figure it out myself, but I couldn't. So that's why I was led to you, Tammy.
Good deal.
And you heard me tell you earlier this week that I was literally contemplating on the times in which I was comfortable with doing, and I just couldn't do that 5 a.m. hour. And it was like my sweet spot where I could be alone and do everything, but I couldn't do it. And that's how I got to you.
That's good though.
You got to just listen to your body. And sometimes we got to adjust. And sometimes it's just for a season. You know, sometimes it's just a season of life. Like the same one I'm doing right now too. I'm just struggling. I'm stressed out. You know, I'm working extra hours. You're going to learn to apply everything to your life. You're going to learn to see when your stressors are, when it's not, when the family has that rhythm and everything kind of goes smooth. And then you're going to hit that wall of,
nothing goes.
It all sucks, you know, so you're going to hit that, but that's where we all tried it. And if you can look at all the veterans across the board, you know, we've got almost 1,000 people between our groups. And if you look at the majority of the veterans on there, we all tried to get at it alone. We all thought we can carry this. We can do it. I got this. I know what I'm doing. We all have better things to do. And I keep saying that than to sit on these lives. But this is where the magic happens. This is where the brain health comes in. This is where we're building those new neural pathways. And this is where we're going to lift each other up when the whole family's dragging you down.
And it's kind of funny because we need this as much as you guys do.
Yep.
And it's
accountability. It works. It's building that neuro pathway. It's talking with like-minded people. You know, we went to a dear friend had a birthday party this week, and it was so neat to go in and know that we had this. There were spreads of candy and fun, yummy cookies,
homemade cookies and
all kinds of yummy stuff. And we were good. But it was so cool to go in when you're not with like-minded people. It is a different conversation. Then it's like, you don't have to question and explain and justify and reason. And I feel bad because they sit there and apologize. You know,
we're sorry. We're sorry. No, don't worry about it.
We got this. We're good. You know, we grabbed the meat and the cheese off the cheese plate, and we celebrated the people and the girlfriend that, you know, it was the birthday party, and you're good. But those are all learning steps that you're going to learn. So I guess I'm just saying that to say, us veterans that have all been through this, we're in this together to help each other over the hurdles. And as much as we all say we're loners and we got this.
No. I was struggling for quite a while before I found, you know, I seriously contemplate not doing the 21 days with drboz. And I was like, I can't afford it. And then all of a sudden I bought it and I'm like, okay, I'm in it. It's been the most difficult 2 weeks. Just being in the Zoom conferences and the class times and the huddles and all this other good stuff. But I'm trying. And all of the videos and watching them, I usually do those at night when I'm alone by myself. But yeah, it's like you're saying, it's the community. I love my family, and they know that I don't eat this and I don't eat that. And they've come quite used to it. And the husband says he helps, but sometimes not so much. And
if there's one thing as far as that goes that I could give you a little bit of insight on, until I went to him and we had to come to Jesus moment of when I had to share my heart to say, I'm not doing this to just fit in my skinny jeans. I am doing this to save my life so I can be here and love you for as many years as God will leave me on this earth. That's what made things change. That this isn't just a diet. This isn't a fad that I'm doing for a little bit of time. This is so I can survive a heart attack. This is so I can survive all the things that life has thrown at me, because I am as healthy as I can possibly be, or I would have never made it off that plane from the heart attack. So it's just those moments of that's what matters. That's what makes those talks real. And, you know, I don't know if you've had that with your husband, but that was when it felt like we became partners.
It changed.
It wasn't
he doesn't push food on me anymore. there for a while, it was really kind of difficult. Say, no, I can't. I'm not. No. And I don't know how many times I was like, yes, one bite is going to kill me, and I don't want that one bite. I'm good without it.
Yep.
And he's just learning that when I say no, it's like, okay, whatever. And I had to convince him that it was okay for me to fast, because he just thought I was like trying to fit into my skinny jeans instead of fix me. And I had to really talk him into saying, hey, just chill out. It's good. I know what I'm doing. I'm feeling better. And all this other stuff. And he's like, okay, you look like you're doing okay. And I'm all right. And then it was, I've noticed I make bread. That's my Zen moment. That's where I make my inner peace. And I give every single loaf of bread that I make away. I keep one for him. And I've noticed that I've got a little bit of a pile going on for him, but he's not eating as much bread as he once was. And he's opting for different things. And I'm doing this for me, but I want him to catch on, because he's the one on the medicines. He's on the medicines. He's on the things that I want him to be around a little bit longer, and he scares me so bad. I don't want to live without him.
Janet, if you could say anything, is maybe one of these days for group instead of sitting out here by yourself.
Have him come on.
Or even if he won't come on, just sit by him so he can hear. Just let him.
Oh, no. He's one of those, he zones it out. He doesn't. Yeah, if he's going to change it, it's going to be just watching what I'm doing.
Yep.
Okay.
Lead by example. Lead by example and share your heart. Don't be afraid to share your heart.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. It takes us guys a little bit longer to learn some stuff.
Oh yeah. It's the hard head.
But you know what though? You take care of you first. That way you can take care of everybody else.
He'll follow. He'll get there.
And it's not selfish. It is not selfish to do that. Don't ever think that that's selfish, because as a mama, you got to take care of your family. And even if they're not going along, you still got to take care of you so you can be healthy enough to take care of them.
Oh, and my girls, I've harped enough on like, hey, you know what? I know an easier way now. I've proven it and all this other stuff. And they're like, oh, mom, keto this and keto that. I get you. We don't want to. Okay, whatever.
Someday you may.
They'll get there when their health determines. I guess that was the thing that scared me. Everybody's like, how do you do this so much? It's like, because I was that damn scared of dying. I mean, that makes it easy. It's when you're that scared and you know your health's going in the wrong direction. You somebody tell me, give me a damn answer. Give me the answer to fix it or to make it better, because I don't want to go that way. I do not want to die. I want to be here. I love the Lord, but I'm not ready to go visit him yet. But we've got to, we got to pick those challenges, but we got to be able to choose that battle because it matters. And when people say, oh, I like pizza, I like living better.
To fight it, yeah.
Yeah. I like living.
I want to feel good as long as I can until that time comes.
But I want to be here. I want to not just watch life pass me by, which is what I was doing because I couldn't function. They had me so medicated on everything for one thing after another. You'll get there, but it has to stay consistent and you have to make those choices and lead by example and just do that. It's not hard when you realize what the alternative is. Where I was at 4 years ago, I don't even want to go back there. That's why I'm terrified to even stop fasting, because I know how fast my body goes backwards. I hate it. I'm scared to death, but I'm going to I've trusted this lady and she's done the work and not led me astray yet. I'm going to follow and keep going. So I'm going to do it till she tells me I can go to the next level. But we're all in this together, Janet, and we're your family. We're happy to have you here.
Absolutely. And be here every Sunday at 8.
Show up every Sunday. You got it. And you got the big group going too. You're going to be fine. You know the science now. So come on. All right, Joni, you want to jump in?
You're welcome, Janet.
Any questions over there?
Nope, I don't have a whole lot of questions over here.
Questions?
Some good stuff from Bonnie, though. She was throwing it out there. She says she does genealogy and she pays close attention to the death certificates and the cause of death. She says it's very interesting to plot all that data. and see how much of it is metabolic disease and how much isn't.
I can
So,
imagine.
Imagine that's like a big giant puzzle.
One of the cool studies that when you read about it, when they were teaching about the epigenetics and stuff like that, and how even, because like I said, I got a really crappy load of genetics handed to me on both sides of my family. And it's just every female on my mom's side has a form of cancer. So she's come from a big family, and it's all the women have those, just have a form of cancer to deal with. But so when you're looking at it, and one of the things they teach in that is, just because you were handed those genetics does not mean you have to turn that switch on, does not mean I have to aggravate it and tease it and jump into it. I'm going to do everything in my power to not turn those genetics, that switch on, to not turn that genetic flip of the curse of cancer or whatever. I want to keep my body as healthy as I can. And just because you were handed, that means that much stronger. I want to stay consistent, because I know I have a predisposition of all of that. I know I have a problem. I know I'm predisposed for so many things. So that is why I stay so strict in this. That's why it makes it easy for me, because I don't want to go down that path. But any questions this week? I know we're running over.
Joni says she's just listening tonight. So
okay. Good job. Any other questions? If not, everybody have a great week. Check in on the group pages, invite and grow on that group
like
page.
And subscribe and all that kind of fun stuff too.
All that stuff. We never realized how much all those things matter while we're trying to grow this. So God, please help us out. Like and subscribe and share the things. Jump in that group, the big group that we have. Jump in that, share that with anybody that you think would be helpful on your journey. That's where we try to keep all the public information. We have all of our classes over in private groups and stuff like that. If you need private coaching, you let us know. I'm getting ready to start running for the new one. All of our old people in the group that we're in right now just kind of have advanced over into the advanced protocol. So we're ready to start some beginners. If you know anybody needing to start at square one and step one with us and kind of work through with us, you let us know. But reach out, let us know if we can help you, and stay on the group page, and we'll answer any questions that we can over there. But we love y'all. Have a good week.
Have a great week, guys.
Bye.
Bye.